Welcome back to the Ram Truck Workshop here at the Rebuilding Exchange. We are with Blake Sloane. Blake is the Director of Production here at the Rebuilding Exchange. I see some belts, I see a chair. I don't know what you have in store for me today. Why don't you tell us?
Well, we're going to do a simple little reupholstering of the chair, but with belts.
There's no flogging involved today?
Not today.
This type of project is what the Rebuilding Exchange is all about, saving usable materials from landfill and giving them a new life. These belts may not be able to hold my waist, but we're gonna make them hold my weight. But before we start, we need the right tools for the job. Some fine steel wool, clean rags, and a product called Restore Finish to clean up the chair. Then to attach the belts, we're using number 8 screws and finish washers, a razor blade, and a drill. You can use one, but we've got 2 to save some time. One for drilling the hole and one for putting in the screws. Plus, of course, the chair and about a dozen belts.
All right, so the first step is just going to be kind of cleaning up the chair. I recommend wearing gloves with this because it'll certainly stain your hands a little bit.
I work over the chair while Blake evens the finish with some fine steel wool. The Restore Finish needs about 30 minutes to dry, and then we can start plotting our design.
Really, you can do this many ways. I don't think it through too much. I just sort of like to start throwing belts on there and kind of let it be random. I tend to find when you overthink it, it never looks as good as when you just go on there. So that looks pretty good. And I'll just do one at a time. Keep these off to the side. So we've got both our drills handy, and I've got my finishing washers and all my screws handy. So we'll just get a pile of these ready to go.
We're using number 8 3/4 inch screws, the 8 referring to the screw's thickness. We're also matching the number 8 screws with number 8 finish washers to make the fasteners look, well, finished.
So again, I'm just gonna shoot for somewhere in the middle of here. You can sort of decide how close you want your screws to be.
It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just go at it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And these belts are totally interchangeable. So I'm just drilling right through the belt into the wood.
Okay.
So with a 100-year-old chair like this, it is important to pre-drill because I don't want to split this wood by just attempting to ram a screw through it. So I've got one in the one side, and I'm going to stretch this because I do want this a little bit tight. So I'm just going to use my other hand. And this is where the 2 drills really come in handy because I can keep a nice grip on this. I'm shooting to space this about where that one was, but again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm still keeping this nice and tight. I don't want to lose that alignment. So there we go. So already I've got, my holes are pretty well spaced, and I'm just going to kind of use this to sight the rest of the screws and try to keep them in a nice straight line.
All right, you want me to try one?
Yeah, if you're up for it,
sure.
give it a shot. And we're shooting to sort of space it about as far as the other one. I can see you've already got it wrong.
Did he just say I had it wrong already?
Again, there's no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer, but do it my way. So I did one. Is it good? Will it hold?
It's pretty good.
Okay, just say great.
You can see my alignment was going real well, and then all of a sudden we're sort of taking a little sharp turn there, but that's okay. You know, no big deal. Let's keep going.
Blake keeps going while I wait to be tagged back in. He drills a pilot hole, screws the belt down, pulls it tight, and repeats.
So we ended up with 6 belts.
6 belts.
Seems like a good number. And we pull these nice and taut. So before we switch the other way, I'm gonna go ahead and trim all these belts down.
Do you want some of the leftover material? Would you reuse that, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna be able to get a second use out of most of these belts here.
What is the next step we need to move on to?
All right, so we're just gonna do the same thing, but this time we're gonna weave them through and run them sort of crisscross.
Okay.
Very simple little weave like that. All right, so that looks pretty good.
That'll hold a modern day human, or?
I think that'll hold a modern day human.
Blake and I repeat the process from the first set. It's a simple, creative project and a great use for all those old belts in your closet.
And these, if you snap through a belt again, you just grab another one and pop it on there.
If I snap through a belt, I'm going to the gym. Finally, we reattach the seat to the rest of the chair, and we have one brand new belt chair. It's a great conversation piece and an easy project we did in less than an hour, spending less than 20 bucks on supplies. Think it's cool but not up to the DIY challenge? No worries, you can buy one from Blake. That's gonna be it from the Ram Truck Workshop here at the Rebuilding Exchange.